Hello and welcome to a new episode of the CTO Show with Mehmet. My name is Mehmet. I share daily insights about the latest news and trends in technology while exploring their problem solving abilities. But as you know, I also talk about startups and entrepreneurs behind their innovative products and services. And today, with me on the show is Nicky Billou, who is joining me live from Canada, where Nikki will share with us some insights about entrepreneurship, about thought leadership as well, and how you can differentiate yourself in the marketplace. And without further ado, so Nikki, I want you to introduce yourself. And by the way, Nikki used to live here in the Middle East, in Dubai. So maybe he would be a familiar face to some who would watch later. But yeah, please, Nikki, introduce yourself and welcome to the show again.
Mehmet, thanks for having me on the show. It's an honor to be here with you, my friend. I'm actually originally from Iran, and my family left Iran about a year and a bit after the revolution. We went to the Mediterranean, to Greece. We lived in Athens, and then we moved to Canada. And then while I was in Canada, I went to a few places for school and for work. I went to the States for school, and I came to Dubai for work. My father was always an entrepreneur. He was an uplifter of people. He believed in people. He would always say to me, Nicky, life is about people. It's not about money. You must always remember this. He'd always say to me, even business is about people. It's not about money. You must always remember this. And all you do in business is you solve problems for people for profit. You solve acute problems for really good people, awesome people, for a wonderful and amazing profit, right? People, problems, profit. And I really, really love that my father taught me this. And I love the example that he gave to me, because it's my belief that successful entrepreneurship at the end of the day is about finding problems that are not solved, and solving them. That's truly what it's all about. And here's one thing about being in business that I learned from coming from an entrepreneurial family. There's a lot of people that are good people that are in business. You know what I mean? They're good at what they do. They may be good at technology. They may be good at, building things, but they're not necessarily good business people. They don't have the background to understand how to actually create the structure of a powerful business. They don't understand marketing and sales. They don't understand hiring and firing. They don't understand uh, uh, financial statements like balance sheets, income statements, and cash flow statements. They don't understand customer service. They don't understand building systems and processes and structures and HR. They don't understand exit strategies if they want to sell their company and get out of there at some point. It's one of those things, and I noticed this. And so that's why I got into business myself, because I thought I could help these people. And the two areas that, the three areas, I should say, that I saw that people were having the trouble that I really felt I could make a difference were sales and marketing and culture. So, sales. Well, the problem with sales for some people is they're a little bit nervous about appearing pushy, appearing, salesy. They don't want to be one of those people that as soon as you walk in the room, you can smell the commission breath on them. You know what I mean? They don't want to be that way. But that's good and noble intention. But the problem is, if you do that, then you're going to fail at something very, very important. And that is at getting customers you legitimately should get. So your business suffers. And those customers, they could use you. They could use your help. So they suffer because they don't get your help. And then somebody else who, is maybe a bit of a charlatan, doesn't care. He's going to go and get those customers and not deliver anything for them. So, you know what I mean? Everybody suffers, except maybe the charlatan who makes money, right? But everybody else suffers, right? So I could see this and I thought, I'm going to help these good people. And what I realized is a lot of people have a problem with the word sales. So I thought, let's reframe the word sales from sales to service. Nobody likes to be sold to, but everybody likes to be served. So if you think of it as serving somebody and you come from a service mentality and you rewire your thinking, that could be really powerful for you. So we taught people how to do this. Obviously, it didn't happen overnight. I can't just tell you, hey, stop thinking of sales, start thinking of service. Yep, that's done. It doesn't work like that. But you work with people, you help them rewire their thinking, and over a period of time, it will work. beautiful things happen. And that was the first thing that we were able to do successfully for people. You know what I'm saying, Mehmet?
Yeah, that's great. And I faced this challenge myself because I came from a pure technology background, and then sometimes I had to do the sales, right? So, um, yeah, and I was thinking the same way because when someone was coming to me trying to sell me something, I would say, "Hey, yeah, this guy he's waiting for my cash, right?" But it's not, it's not the case indeed. Now, when I was, doing my researches also, like, and I was impressed by the work you do, honestly, Nikki. And you talk about, especially I'm seeing this hype of what I'm calling solopreneurs, people who want to, start maybe a one person company and then maybe they will grow. My question is, and based on something I read through your articles and what you shared, about first going narrow and then later on take it broader. What's your advice and your take on this?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. It's a very good question. So here's the situation, right? When people go into business, right, at first they think, well, I can't go narrow because I'll lose out. I got to show I can do anything for anybody. The problem is that you really can't, and people won't trust you. If you come to somebody and go, need help with your sales? I'm your guy. Need help with your fitness? I'm your guy. Need help with your finances? I'm your guy. Need help with your marriage? I'm your guy. Come on, man. No one's gonna trust you or believe you. You know what I mean? You really need to really focus. People like to work with specialists. Think about it in the world of doctors. Okay. You have a family doctor for sure. But if you have a heart attack, you're gonna go see him or you're gonna see a cardiologist, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna go see the cardiologist. You need specialists. You will do better when you go narrow because more people in that narrow area will be interested in working with you rather than let's go big and let's help anybody and everybody. So, you know, we talk about this, right? Like when you want to be somebody in business who's successful, you can choose to be an expert or you can choose to be a thought leader. Now, an expert is somebody who knows something, okay? But experts are a dime a dozen. Everybody and his brother is an expert these days. But a thought leader is someone who's known for knowing something. Thought leaders are rare and valuable. You follow what I'm saying, Mammoth?
Yes.
A thought leader is somebody that is sought after, right? A thought leader has taken the time to think through what it is that they're supposed to be an expert about. They're somebody who's taken the time to codify their knowledge. So, to give you an example, this is an example of some intellectual property I developed. This is a whole folder on an arena that I'm very interested in, which is, you know, the whole world of sleep deprivation. So I've got one on sleep deprivation. I've got one on energy. I've got one on high performance. Inside here, we're going to have 30, 40 of these pieces of intellectual property. This is the basis for a commercial enterprise. 20 of these can be chapters for a book. 10 of these can be a coaching program, right? And 3 of these can be a 3-day workshop. You follow what I'm saying? And when I focus in a particular arena and I start to put my expertise out there in the world and say, look, this is the arena, this is what we're doing, this is what it's all about. And people listen to it and they go, oh, this is valuable, this is interesting. Then there's people that are really suffering from a problem in that arena. And they're going to say, I like this, I want this. So let me give you an example of a client that I worked with. This client was a young man, and he was a health and fitness coach. So if you were overweight, you know, you were wanting to get stronger, whatever, he'd work with you. So when I met him, I liked him. He was a nice man, but just didn't understand business. Understood fitness, understood all of that, but business, no clue. He had 7 clients, right? He made $1,300 a month, like ridiculously, stupidly low amount of money. Toronto, where I live, it's an expensive city. It's almost as expensive as Dubai. You know what I mean? So $1,300 a month is not going to really cut it. So I met him and I go, hey, his name was Dan. I said, Dan, tell me, who is your ideal customer? And he said, I can work with anybody. I'm like, no, no, no. You need an ideal customer. He said, no, but really, I can work with anybody. If they want to lose weight, I can help them. If they want to put on muscle, I can help them. And I'm like, buddy, no. He says, listen, I can do it all. I said, you want to work with anybody with a wallet and a pulse, it sounds like. And he's like, that's so funny. He said, well, I guess so. I'm trying to make money. I said, no, brother, you must have a narrow focus. He said, okay, okay. So he comes to me, he goes, what about if I work with doctors? With doctors? Why doctors? He said, well, my dad is a doctor and I love my dad. I'm like, okay, that's nice. He said, plus doctors, they make a lot of money. I'm like, oh my God. I remember what my father says, can't be about the money. No, no, buddy. No, no, no. You can't do that. He says, I'm going to do it. I'm like, you hired me to coach you. You're not going to listen to me? He goes, I'm going to try this. I'm like, all right, fine. Didn't work. Turns out going to a doctor and saying, you make a lot of money, come work with me, not a great message, right?
Of course.
So comes back to me, goes, okay, what do I do? I said, well, you need an actual narrow focus that's not, about doctors. He said, okay, narrower. He says, okay, what about cardiologists? Cardiologists. No, they make more money than doctors. I'm like, oh my God, you're not understanding the whole point I'm trying to make here. He goes, I'm going to go after cardiologists. I'm like, buddy, I'm your coach. Listen to me. Nope. It didn't work. He didn't get any clients. But God has a mysterious way of working with people, Mehmet. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So the good Lord said to him no to these ideas, but he sent him a man with a missing leg who was a Paralympian athlete, in the Paralympic Games. That really worked. They did good work together. And this fellow went on to competitions and he won medals. It was great. And then Dan comes to me very apologetic and sheepish and says, oh my God, Nicky, I'm an idiot. I'm like, Dan. He said, you told me this. I didn't listen. You said, don't go after the money. You said, go after helping people. I didn't listen. And he said, now I get it. I said, good. He said, I think I want to help people with missing limbs. I really want to help them. And I'm like, okay, that sounds great, actually. And so, guys with missing limbs, he put it out there. Mehmet, in 6 weeks, he signed up 400 clients.
Wow.
400. He went from $1,300 a month to over $100,000 a month. Now, I don't know how much you know about the world of fitness coaching. They don't make that much money in 2 years, never mind in 1 month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And why? Well, first of all, he wasn't going after the money anymore. He wanted to help a group of people. But secondly, he picked that group very well. Nobody else was trying to help people with missing limbs work out. Nobody. They all thought they got missing limbs. They can't work out. He knew better. His message was, you have a missing limb. You don't think you can work out. You don't think you're as capable as a person who has all their limbs. I'm here to tell you, you can work out. You are as capable, and I'm going to show you and prove it to you. You can imagine how that's a powerful message, right? Very strong. And that message landed for these people. They loved it. And so they signed up, and that's how come he did it. That's the power of going narrow and not focusing on the money. So we gave principle number 1 to be a successful entrepreneur. Remember, it's about people and solving problems for them. Secondly, it's about going narrow and being known as the expert in that narrow space, as the authority, as the thought leader, not trying to be all things to all people.
Yeah, this is very inspiring. I would say now, and for people who are following me for a while now. I'm, by the way, new to this, Nikki. So, I always talk about this, that you need to go sometimes outside of your comfort zone, and even when because my specialty is technology, and I always say the aim is helping what the customer is having pain with, right? It's not like the nice windows and colors of a website. No, like it's not the case, and this is really resonated with the story you said, and I believe it even in gave me something in my mind now. So yeah, like really really good. But now back to going on the narrow. You talked about thought leadership, and thought leadership, it's not something easy, right? So it's something that you need also to spend some time until you reach that. So if you can little bit share about this one, like how someone can position himself or herself as a thought leadership. So when someone will deserve this thought leadership title, if I can ask it this way.
Yes. Well, I'm glad you asked the question. And keep in mind that the answers and the points we've made are two of the important factors of becoming a thought leader, right? You have to, first of all, come from the point of view of wanting to solve a problem for people. A lot of people think thought leadership means being a professor at university. Maybe, but no. In the context of what we're talking about, which is business and success, thought leadership is about finding ways to help people who need your help. Period, full stop, end of story. It's about solving problems for people for a profit. Because when you solve a problem for a person, you earn the rights to a profit, right? Secondly, thought leadership is about finding a way to stand out and not be like everybody else. So the example of this young man, Dan, that's thought leadership. But thirdly, you must understand a couple other things about thought leadership. Thought leadership is not about you. Thought leadership is about them. Thought leadership is not about you. It's not about how awesome you are. It's not about how awesome your program is. Sorry about that if that's what you thought it was. Thought leadership is about who you help, how you help them. And it's about helping people understand that what you do is of use to them. You have to be useful to them. People, when they make an investment decision to purchase a service or a product, they're not buying their way into something. They're buying their way out of something. They're not buying their way into you and into your program and your awesome methodology. They're buying their way out of a pain they can't stand anymore.
Yeah.
You must understand this. If you don't understand this, you are not a thought leader. You're a thought follower. And that's a big difference. A thought leader who leads understands that leadership is about them, serving them, finding out what it is that they're concerned about.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. If what you're doing is not important uh, enough to be focused on how you help people, then it's an ego trip to say, "Oh, look at how great I am. Look at how amazing my methodology is. Look at how wonderful it is. Let me tell you more about me." Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about your methodology. Nobody cares about your product. Look, it's a fact. You know, you know why people buy Apple? Now, Apple is not as popular as it once was, but when it was super, super popular and everybody wanted an iPhone, everybody thinks, oh, it's because of the iPhone. Look at all the amazing things the iPhone did. No, it was not because of the damn iPhone. It's because having an iPhone made them feel a certain way about themselves. That's it. When the iPhone came out in 2007, the people who bought the iPhone thought about themselves. I'm unique. I'm different. I'm somebody who seeks the unusual. I'm somebody special and important. And in their mind, why that was important was because they didn't really believe that at one point. They wanted to be that, but they were like, oh my God, there's nothing special about me. If people only knew I'm an imposter, I'm a loser, those kinds of thoughts went through their heads. Steve Jobs brilliantly understood this, brilliantly captured it in the marketing that he did with Apple. It is my belief if Steve Jobs had lived and had not passed away, Apple right now would continue to be the most innovative company in history, would continue to have ways of satisfying that message that currently it's not doing. People that are buying Apple right now are doing it out of a residual loyalty to Jobs rather than because Apple is still the most innovative company in the world. Apple is not that innovative anymore. It is
Yeah.
not focused on people the way it was. But hey, it has a residual base of people who still love it because of Steve Jobs. And that's a testament to thought leadership. Steve Jobs was a thought leader. Steve Jobs' brand as the founder of Apple and as the man who was in charge of Apple was infused with Apple, but it was bigger than Apple. And people wanted to learn from Jobs. They wanted to be like Jobs. They wanted to be that kind of human being. They wanted to get away from the pain of not being successful, not feeling good about themselves. Jobs did this. Jobs was a thought leader. If you own a company right now, if it's a technology company, if it's a construction company, and you want to be the Steve Jobs of your company, it's very possible. It's very doable. How do you do it? Simple, brilliantly simple. Okay. You've got to be somebody who is going to go out there and say, I'm going to create a brand for myself. I'm going to have my expertise come out. And if you don't know how to do it, then you need to come and talk to me or someone like me to show you what to do and how to do it. It's not as simple as saying, okay, I'm going to create a YouTube channel and that's good enough. No, no. You need to have gotten your messaging done right. You need to have understood how people are going to benefit from it and why the hell they should listen to you. Because if you're like a lot of CEOs and all you do is put sales garbage out there on your YouTube channel, no one's going to listen. It's a waste of your time and, wasting your money.
Like you came to the point that I wanted actually to ask, and you answered me. But just because you mentioned Steve Jobs, and we were talking about thought leadership, my advice to everyone, if you didn't yet, I'm not sure if there's someone still didn't read the biography of Steve Jobs. You because I read it the second time. Just I finished it last week, and I always come back to it. And the reason I come back to it for multiple things, but how he was so obsessed in serving the customers, and even if the customer doesn't know what he wants, and I always remember this, like you need to come up with something that the customer doesn't know. And the second thing is the way he believed how it's important to have the brand, right? So because if there's even a famous video where he's talking about, he's comparing Nike, and how when you say Nike, it's like, you don't think only commodity as the commodity of the
No, you
shoes.
think about great
At-
performance and great athletics.
yeah,
Absolutely.
and this is the whole, actually campaign thing different that he launched. It was, I think I work in technology, and I never seen a more impactful and like really it's deep thinking. um yeah, so actually you took the second question, because I wanted to ask you about the brand. And because my thoughts, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it will become more and more crucial to build your personal brand, because it's a very crowded place, and you need really to differentiate yourself. So what do you advise younger people, someone who is in this entrepreneurship journey, to do to build their personal brands?
First and foremost, um, I would suggest that they buy one of my books. It's called The Thought Leader's Journey. I've written and published 9 books, but this one is really all about how to create a powerful personal brand.
Wow.
You follow what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
Um, and what I want to get someone to understand out of doing the work of this book is that um, there are 15 principles that are in here, right? Go in here and read the book. It's a $20 investment. So it's very simple and very straightforward. Second thing I want to tell you is I have a podcast called The Thought Leader Revolution. It's all around how to create a powerful thought leader brand and build a powerful personal brand for yourself. It's my opinion that everybody should listen to the episodes of that show, learn from the thought leaders that we have there.
Great.
Understand first and foremost, though, that um, you need to know who you are and what you stand for. And that's not easy to figure out, especially when you're younger. There's a lot of noisiness out there in the world that confuses you. And, being on these bloody devices for as long as people are these days makes it hard for people to think that through. But you need to know who you are and what you stand for. And if you can understand who you are and what you stand for, then you can create a powerful message around that and then start to broadcast that message in the work that you do, in the podcasts that you run, in books that you write, and in the help that you offer to clients. But we live in a time, Mehmet, where people are a little bit soft. They're a member of Generation Soft, I call it. They don't want to sit down and do the hard work. They want it to come easily to them, and it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You got to do things that are out of your comfort zone. You got to push yourself, and you've got to hire coaches and mentors. If you don't have coaches and mentors, you're screwed. You're screwed. Robin Sharma, the great Robin Sharma. You know Robin Sharma. You know who he is, right?
Of course.
Well, he was my client. I don't know if you knew this, but Robin Sharma was my client. He lives in my city in Toronto. I used to be a top fitness coach. He was my client. And there was a time when Robin, said something profound to me. He said to me, Nicky, if you ever want to double your income in a year, triple your investment in personal and professional development. I'm like, what? Triple your investment in personal and professional development. I was like, oh, okay. I listened to him and it worked. Most people don't understand this. You have to hire coaches and mentors.
Yeah.
And pay what it takes to work with them. You have to join peer groups and masterminds and pay what it costs to be a part of them. You have to attend conferences and pay what it costs to go to them. You have to buy courses and pay what it costs to buy them. You have to buy books and read books and pay what it costs, not just in money, but in time and in energy and focus. Robin Sharma also said focus is more valuable than money. And he's right. You got to focus on success. And, I had a client. She came to me, this woman. Her name was Adele, like the singer, right? And she had spent $125,000 on the wrong coaches and mentors, on these charlatans, for zero return. Her husband was so upset. He said, honey, you can't do this. We're gonna go in the court, right? And she's like, okay. But she was so upset because she knew she had something good there. So when she came to us, I knew what she was doing wrong. I knew she was working with the wrong people. I said, look, we can help you. Just come sit with us and we'll get you there. And the first thing I had her do was narrow her focus. Second thing I had her do was get in front of people that already knew her and start pitching, start talking about how she can help them. She was making less than $2,000 a month. And in like 1-2 months, she was making $20,000 a month.
Wow. There
was a month year over year where before she worked with us, she made $500. After she worked with us, she made $52,000 in 1 month. That's a 100-fold increase, 2 zeros, because she had the right coaches and mentors, and she was in a peer group we ran. If you are a young person and you're not investing in yourself, shame on you. Start investing in yourself right away. It's very, very, very important.
100%. And actually, and some people, they tell me, how come you can embrace yourself? I said, it's not embracing myself. I did the mistake when I was younger because I was not, investing in books, masterminds, and these things. Now, recently, and by the way, it was because of one of Robin's book, The 5 a.m. Club.
Yes.
They say it like some book can change lives. Yeah, it can. Definitely it can. And actually, I enrolled in his mentorship, online mentorship, because it was COVID at that time. Believe it or not, it had a huge impact on me. I can tell you this. And also, like, even I bought the other book that he released last year, the Everyday Hero Manifesto. It's also like a great book to read. And yeah, like things that doesn't happen. And he advised, by the way, in the 5 a.m. Club, like, and he goes on the method that you need as you said, a coach for fitness, a coach for finance, a coach for like for every aspect of life, because you cannot at the end of the day do it all by yourself, right? As the time is running out, Nikki, like any final message you want to say? By the way, I will be sharing the link for Nikki's podcast. I will share also his website if you want to get in touch with him. And also, like I'm lucky to have Nikki today because he wrote a lot of books. So I will share also that with you as well. So Nikki, just in 1 minute or two, your final thoughts.
So this is my final thought. If you want to be successful, you need 4 qualities. The first is decisiveness. You have to make a decision that you want to be successful. You can't be a tire kicker. You follow me? You can't just go, I'm going to kick a tire and, but I'm not, you have to say, I'm in it to win it. And that's that. You have to make a commitment. That's the second quality. Okay. Commit. When you commit, you say, I'm in it. I'm willing to be bad before I'm good. Every master was once a disaster. You have to commit. You have to be bad before you're mediocre, before you're average, before you're decent, before you're good, before you're great, before you're iconic, before you're the best that ever was. That is commitment. Thirdly, you have to be coachable. You have to take coaching from people other than yourself. You have to have multiple coaches. I have 6 coaches I work with right now. Six coaches. And then fourthly, my friend, and this is very, very powerful, you have to be resourceful. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how much resources you have. What matters is how bad do you want change? How bad do you want change? How ready are you for victory? If you're ready for victory and you're not a tire kicker, I'm going to do you some massive favor. I'm going to give you 45 minutes of my time for free to like take a look at what is the change that you badly want. And I'm going to give you a free blueprint to do it. Go to ecircleacademy.com/appointment. Take advantage of this. But only do it if you want change bad. I don't want to talk to you if you're a tire kicker. I don't want to talk to you if you're uncertain. If you want change bad, we'll have that conversation. And that's it. That's my final piece of advice.
Well, thank you very much, Nikki, for, it was like very rich, I would say, like one of the richest in content wise, because it's full of advices for people. Thank you very much. And for my listeners, viewers, wherever you are, I hope you will find this episode like it's a really special one for me because I was lucky to have Nikki with us today. And until we meet next time, thank you very much.